So I'm here with Jim Price in his 737 cockpit. We're getting ready to go for a flight.
Yep.
This is exciting. You say that I can do this.
Anyone can fly.
There's how many switches are in here? Do you know?
A lot.
But I've been told it's simple enough. I can do it. We're about to take off. Come with us.
So there's a pilot flying and a pilot not flying, and they each have their duties. And it's pretty much the same for both. So the person flying basically calls out for what they want, gear up, flaps 5, that kind of stuff. And the person not flying is the one who puts his head down and does all that stuff.
Okay, well, let's see how this goes.
Okay.
I think you should probably fly and tell me what to do.
Okay. So we're sitting on the ground in San Francisco. I think that's the international terminal, I'm not sure.
A5, yeah, it looks like it.
And we'll taxi out to runway 1 and we'll take off and fly around, I guess.
Fantastic. So what right now you're setting up nav stuff?
Yes, so I'm going to tell it that we are at San Francisco, which is KSFO.
Okay.
So that's for your origin, and then we're going to take off on runway 1 left, probably.
Okay, and so the runways are the cardinal points on the
right, they're all done
compass.
by magnetic heading. So it'll display your runway on this is the nav display. So this triangle here is your airplane. Basically, the tip is the nose of the airplane, right?
Okay.
And then the double white lines there is the runway that I've plugged into the flight management system. And then the dotted white lines, just an extended center line on each end.
Oh, of the runway.
Of the runway.
So as long as we get it on that line. And
so when you're flying, you're going to want to basically come in, line up with the extended runway, and go on in.
And then hit the right swoop. And is this going to take us out over that landing at SFO is always exciting. You come in over the water.
Over the water, sure.
Yeah, and you never know if it's going to find land before the wheels get down.
At least when you're looking out the side.
Yeah, exactly.
So I've put in a runway to take off on.
Okay.
I'm going to tell it that we're going to land back at San Francisco again. So put that in the destination.
Okay.
Activate it, and then there's an entire pre-flight where you put in the weight and all that. I've already done that.
Okay.
And then we select, we want to shoot an instrument approach into the...
Yeah, absolutely. Let's make it foggy and
So we'll do an ILS approach. We go in and we select ILS 28 right.
Okay.
And see now it's drawn that other runway.
So that's the landing runway.
That's the landing runway. In a normal flight, you wouldn't have them both on the same place, obviously.
Right.
For our purposes, that's what that's for. So now it's actually going to draw a route. It draws us coming out here towards Oakland and then back in for the ILS into 28.
This is I'm blown away. This is amazing. And my screen and your screen are not exactly matching up, so this is something different then.
Right. So you have your entire own set of controls over here for your screens.
Oh, okay.
And you can put the range wherever you want. This will change your range. You can see the.
Oh, okay, so I zoomed in, essentially zooming in or out on the screen. Okay.
And you have complete control over that. There's different displays that'll show for like a VOR approach or ILS approach. There's all kinds of different.
This beats the hell out of a virtual cockpit.
Pilot kind of stuff. This other panel is where where you fly from, what you're looking at the most. This is navigation. This is flight parameters.
Okay.
They call this a tape. So this tape on the right is for altitude. Your altitude readout will show there.
Okay.
This tape on the left is actually your speed.
And that's airspeed?
Airspeed,
okay.
Yes. And that's in knots. And you'll see it move when we start moving. They'll actually come down. And then this is your attitude indicator. So basically the brown is the ground.
Okay.
Blue is the sky.
So aim for the blue.
Aim for the blue.
Okay.
Most of the time. And then it will also bank with you. So it gives you an idea of what position the airplane's in when you're in the clouds, because you really have no idea.
So let's take off.
Okay, so your job as the pilot not flying, unless you want to take off. It's
no. Well, which one is less likely to fake kill us both?
Taking off.
Okay. So you think
you're probably better at taking off than landing?
I can steer. I think maybe
you could fly it.
Okay, yeah, I'll take off. You land. We'll call it a.
Okay, great. Okay. So this is your landing gear.
Okay.
When you're taking off, so you're going to call gear up. Once we're climbing, you're going to say gear up, and that's my job as the pilot not flying to raise the gear.
To lift the gear. Okay.
These are your flaps, which help you at lower speeds with lift. I'll take care of that. But for takeoff, we're going to set it at flaps 2.
And I got an indicator down here that moved too, right? No.
Well, you should get the flap display
Oh,
here,
okay.
but for whatever reason, it's not working.
Okay.
Throttles just like a boat.
Okay.
These are reversed. Like when you land, I'll be using these.
Pull those back.
You'll see the power come into reverse here.
Okay.
Hopefully.
Everything goes well.
Right.
So you also have a trainer console in here too, so you can add sort of emergencies and
I have a complete
excitement.
instructor station, so if I want to scare you with an engine fire.
I'm cool with that. The scaring is loud. That buzzer, I don't know if you could hear that at home, but it is a terrifying loud noise that you could not miss. So
we can fail individual engines, both engines. We can fail flaps, any kind of flight control.
gear stuck, any of that kind of stuff.
All kinds of stuff.
Fire in the back.
Smoke in the cockpit. I can't really do that one.
Okay, it's good. I appreciate that. Out of lemon soaked paper napkins.
So you steer on the ground with your feet.
Okay, that's perfectly.
You want to
Makes
turn
perfect
right,
sense.
you push right. And then the brakes, if you put your feet up on the rudder, the brakes are what
Okay.
they call toe brakes. So I'm going to release them.
Oh, okay. So you push forward, rock
And
forward.
they're individual.
Oh, so you can steer a little bit with
You can
that.
do differential steering, they call it. So in the 737, when you steer with your feet, you only get 7 degrees of motion each way.
Okay.
So they have what they call a tiller, which is basically a steering wheel.
So that steers the front wheel.
And I can get up to 75 degrees of deflection with the nose wheel, and that's what you'll steer with on the ground.
Okay, so you use your wheels you use your rudder to keep it in the middle of the lane, and the tiller to make the hard turn at the end of the taxi.
Right. And then on takeoff, basically you're going to, once you get up to speed where the rudder's effective with the airflow, then you'll switch to your rudders.
Okay.
It sounds complicated, but it's pretty natural when you do it.
Seems like something you'd take a lot of training and
It does.
years of expertise before you can actually do in the real world.
So we're just going to taxi out here to runway 1.
Okay.
The top two, that's your N1 gauges, that's basically what you're using for power settings, like a tachometer, if you will.
Okay.
And then, so with the nose wheel,
While we're moving.
I can steer it pretty steep.
And I assume if you're going too fast when you use the nose wheel, bad things are going to happen, right?
Well, it will just skid.
Okay.
It won't actually turn it. So it'll take us a couple minutes to get to the runway.
Wow. This is amazing.
And the software will let us know when we're getting close to a runway. It'll actually announce it.
Okay.
You'll hear that in a second. Hopefully.
And it seems like you even have software making cabin noise. Oh, there we go.
That's a relatively new system. For like if you're taxiing around the fog or low visibility or something, it's a safety feature.
And that happens in real planes as well.
Some of them now, yeah. It's going to be your airplane now, so when you're ready to fly, you'll press the toe brakes. That'll release the parking brake.
Okay. Wow, that's amazing.
Guess you're ready to fly.
I guess so, yeah.
So steer with your feet.
Okay.
These are your throttles, just like a boat.
Just
You're
push 'em
basically
forward?
going to just slowly push them all the way forward. Normally, you wouldn't push them all the way forward in the real airplane, but
So
here we're going to.
I guess I should hold on to the yoke.
You don't need that yet. Use your
Okay.
feet. Get lined up with the center line of the runway.
You say that like it's an easy thing to do.
Go
Right,
ahead and
right.
advance the throttles.
Oh, it's getting loud. Oh, yeah, okay. Advance the throttle.
There you go. So now I'm going to tell you when to rotate at about 140 knots. We're going to rotate. And you're just going to pull it back probably, I don't know, a foot.
Okay.
So V1, rotate, pull her on back. Right about there.
Okay.
We're airborne. We've got a positive rate of climb, so
Gear up.
gear up,
Hey, look at me.
and you're flying.
I've got south, and now I steer with my yoke,
Now
right?
you're using your yoke, and you're going to want to pitch the nose over so we don't stall.
That's probably a good idea.
There you go. Now you can see what you're doing outside.
Oh, wow. Hey, this looks familiar.
And I'll slow us down a little bit.
Oh, that might be a little bit much. So, okay, so the controls feel real good. How does this all? I mean, how is this all wired into the sim? I mean, I pull it back. I'm feeling resistance.
So there's basically a bunch of cables, springs, and then hydraulic dampers to get the real feel of a hydraulic system, because it's all, in the real airplane, it's all what they call control loading.
Uh-huh.
They actually fake the feel because it's all hydraulic.
Okay, so you have a connection to the to the control surfaces, but obviously it's not a one-to-one or anything like that even. They're just giving you an approximation, right?
Right.
Okay.
And then there's connected to a slide potentiometer,
Okay.
which connects to the EPIC card, which turns it into basically like a joystick analog channel.
Okay.
And the interface to the sim is just like any other joystick.
So you have channels for the forward, back on the yoke, left and right on the yoke, and then the rudders?
The rudders,
And the throttles.
the toe brakes, the throttles, reversers, the whole, anything that requires an analog input.
And so did you guys come up with all this yourself, or was this something that was already available and
As far as the actual connections,
yeah, the connections and the hookups?
it's all from scratch.
That's amazing. And this was all your crew of cockpit enthusiasts?
Yes.
Very neat.
Hours and hours of experimenting and trying to find what feels right and what works.
So we're 1,300 feet right now? 1,400 feet.
1,400 feet over the bay, and you're basically going to follow that magenta line.
Okay. This is much easier than it sounds. Wait, other way around.
I've got the autopilot on for just the speed. It'll control the speed, so we're at 210 knots approximately,
Okay.
which is pretty good maneuvering speed, maybe a little bit
I
fast.
see 90 over there on the right.
So there's Oakland Airport right below us.
Okay, I'd say they'd probably be yelling at us now if this was the
Yeah,
real
you're
world,
busting
right?
their airspace. They're gonna hammer. You're gonna lose your license.
Well, I guess I'll probably, it's a risk I'm willing to take, Jim.
So basically what we're gonna do is just fly down the bay, we'll get past the San Mateo Bridge, and we'll turn back. And that's what the route is that I've put in there for you.
Well, I mean, I can't overemphasize how real it feels. This is amazing. I mean, I feel like I should be leaning a little bit as I'm turning. Well, I'm
And
gonna.
you know, when you get busy or stressed, then you need a drink.
Do you have windshield
Unfortunately,
wipers?
here my flight attendant never shows up. I don't know
Hey,
why.
Norm.
So if you feel yourself having to hold the pressure on the yoke one way or the other, on your right thumb there, that's actually what they call a trim switch, and that'll relieve the pressure. So if you find you're pulling back too much,
Okay.
you're going to press it down to trim it up, and it'll slowly you can let the pressure forward. It's kind of hard to explain. So see how it's going down?
Yeah.
So if you trim it back,
So I went too far. And does it usually have the wheels, or is this a addition for the sim?
no, that's what's in the
That's
real
the way it really works. Oh wow, that's amazing.
trim wheels, and they can manually fine tune them like this, you know, instead of using the electric
Okay.
trim.
And what's the big red button on the side? Is that for bombs?
That's the autopilot disconnect. Might be for bombs in the P8 Poseidon, I'm not sure.
Oh, okay.
Which is basically a 737 with,
Oh, the anti-sub? No.
right, that's
Okay.
the new anti-sub.
Let's go. We should go buzz San Francisco.
We can do that. Just do a wing over to the right.
This is when everybody's cocktails in the back starts. But I guess they haven't turned on their iPads yet.
I'll speed us back up so we get there quicker.
So you do a lot of remote control stuff with VNC to control the sim. Oh, too much. The sim, among other things, right?
Yes.
A little vertigo here. How does so explain how the instructor panel and all that kind of stuff works.
Well, the instructor panel, it ties in through the same software interface I was telling you before with the XPU IPC interface. See the throttles, it's on the real airplane, the throttles would be moving.
Oh, okay.
I'm still working on that system in mine.
It seems like you need some motors and stuff.
I actually have everything I need, I just need to put it together.
Oh, and we've got it trimmed nicely now. It feels like
So
we're
you can tell the difference.
more or less level. Yeah.
So you should fly under the Golden Gate Bridge inverted, see if you can do that.
It's an advanced maneuver.
We could do that.
Maintaining international relations, I think, is what Tom Cruise called that. You can see Mount Tam off in the distance. This is absolutely incredible, Jim. And of course, we're lower than any commercial airliner will probably ever be at this point above the bay.
I'm gonna turn on the seatbelt sign, so.
Oh, okay. No, we don't want anybody to go to the bathroom.
That's right. Not for this maneuver.
So and there's you have tons of controls up here too.
Tons. Fuel panels, electric panels, auxiliary power units, flap displays,
Cool.
hydraulics. This is basically a panel that allows you to see what voltages all your systems are at. window heat. We actually heat the windows to make them more flexible in case of a bird strike, so that it doesn't just shatter through it.
You're not really doing that.
No.
Okay.
It does actually turn the heat on in the sim.
Oh, okay.
I'm not sure. X-Plane might actually simulate that. I don't know. I've never
Can
tried.
they simulate bird strikes? That's amazing.
And then, of course, the air conditioning, pneumatics, bleed air, and all that stuff, and the pressurization.
So do you only fly 737s in here?
Mostly.
Okay.
Every once in a while, when my stepson Kyle wants to fly, I'll load up a fighter jet or something, and he'll take it up to the...
So there's Bay Bridge up ahead, and see some buildings popping in.
I don't know if I have the rendering settings up where it's going to really populate all the buildings.
Oh,
But
this is amazing, Jim. So
you can see the Golden Gate coming in.
they even
over
have
there.
the new span being built. That's incredible. The new East span. Oh, this is awesome. Okay, so now that we're way off of our flight plan, and
There's
probably
Alcatraz too. You can buzz Alcatraz.
Oh, there we go. See how? Yeah.
Just go down over Alcatraz and then.
Is there an achievement for buzzing the tower? Koi tower.
Sorry,
that
Ghost
is.
Rider. The pattern is full.
Exactly. You don't have a cup of coffee, Jim. I just saw a building fly by the window. That seems probably bad.
Oh.
Okay. The voice seems upset with me.
It's calling out your altitude below 1,000 feet.
Okay.
When you get to 500, it'll call it out again.
Is that a challenge?
Does that look like Alcatraz?
That does look like Alcatraz. So a lot of people are really upset with us right now in the National Park Service.
So if you really want to do the bridge, let me show you that.
Okay, yeah, bring it in.
So we'll fly it like a fighter jet.
I love that the sound picks up when you're pulling hard and throttling into the turn. That's amazing.
So we'll see if we can do a loop. Want to do a loop?
Because every 737, they do this before they leave the factory, right? Let a big loop on the way. The Boeing guys.
See if we can get under it without crashing.
This is 400-foot clearance. How tall is the plane supposed to be?
Oh boy, 60 feet, I think.
Oh boy. Nicely done. Oh, there we go. Uh-oh. Looks like that. Oh, wow.
That's going to end
Holy
bad.
cow. Well, it was a good run. Thank you so much for sharing this with us, Jim. This is absolutely incredible.
Thank you.
I've never seen anything like this, especially not in somebody's garage. So it's an unbelievable work you've done.
Thank you very much.
Do you have a website if people want to learn more?
737simguy.com.
Okay, that's easy.
A little bit outdated. I need to work on that, but you can see some of the early pictures and stuff there.
Clearly, you're not busy with other things, so the web design has got to be the last thing that comes. And you mentioned some message boards that you use that you're a member of.
Yes, cockpitbuilders.com is a real good one for anything cockpit building. It's a lot of advanced stuff, and everybody there helps each other out and share ideas and everything, so it's a good spot to start.
Fantastic. So if people want to learn more and want to start down this path, would you recommend it? Is this something, I mean, you've been working on this for a long time now. Do you still ever come in and actually fly, or is it?
I fly occasionally, yes. I highly recommend it. It's been a fantastic hobby, and now you have people like Flight Deck Solutions in Canada, flightdecksolutions.com, who you can buy a lot of these panels and everything, USB plug and play.
So it's a lot easier now.
Save you years of time. Yeah.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Jim. We'll be back with more from Tested later. I'm Will. See you.